Hi, for those of you who don't know, I'm Shaylin Hayes Raymond, and I am an LTC-C in New Brunswick, Canada, which means that I am a therapist. I'm also the director of the International Misophonia Foundation. I myself have misophonia. Today, I want to talk about ASMR videos. Specifically, I want to talk about restocking videos. So you may have come to this video without knowing what misophonia is. And if you don't know what misophonia is, it is a neurophysiological condition where sounds cause a fight, flight, freeze reaction. And these can be normal sounds like chewing, coughing, sneezing, whistling, lawnmowers, pen clicking, you name it, nails clicking on things, tapping, all of these things that are very, very common in restocking ASMR. So if you've been like scrolling through TikTok and you've found yourself thinking, why am I so annoyed by these restocking videos? You may have misophonia. So yeah, TikTok is an interesting app in my opinion because it's very sound based. It's very quick. These videos, things are moving fast. I've noticed the app, you can't actually turn off the sounds unless you mute your device, basically, or go in and turn things off on your own. Things are even auto playing when I have my device completely silent. As you can see, it's got that little silent bar, and it still plays everything. So for people with misophonia, where you have this fight, flight, freeze response, this can be very distressing. And I do want to say that no hate to creators of ASMR content. ASMR is a very real phenomena, just like misophonia. And ASMR stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. And it's a tingling sensation that usually begins on the scalp and moves down the back of the neck and spine. And there has been some research that shows that ASMR triggers and misophonia triggers are overlapping. And currently, myself and the International Misophonia Foundation is working on a machine learning study comparing ASMR sounds, misophonia sounds, and neutral sounds such as brown and white noise. And what's interesting is that a lot of these ASMR sounds are very similar to misophonia sounds, which is why someone with misophonia might come across an ASMR video and have this fight, flight, freeze response. What's interesting is that many people who watch these videos may not know what ASMR is before they watch it, or they might not know what misophonia is. Of course, both things are becoming more common, and the hashtag restock ASMR is very popular. But what's not as popular is people who are feeling this distress and find it very dissatisfying and very uncomfortable. So for those people, they might be wondering, okay, what can I do? And unfortunately, there is no current treatment for misophonia. We do know it exists. And the International Misophonia Foundation does provide resources and coping skills. So you can check our link in bio for that. But I think an important thing to remember is that these responses are not psychological. So you are not thinking about this response, whether it's ASMR or misophonia. Instead, what you're feeling is this physiological effect. Your body is going in a fight, flight, freeze, or it's having that tingling sensation that's satisfying. And I want to say that, first of all, if you do feel one or the other, don't feel like you're weird or there's something wrong with you. Your brain just interprets things a little different, and your physiological state is a bit different than someone else. Now, I do want to say that it can be incredibly hard as someone with misophonia to watch TikTok, and I personally almost never open this app. And I've got my phone right here. And I'm sorry if my filter goes in and out. I'm currently using a blur because I'm filming in my office. So I'm looking at TikTok and a lot of these are just like flashing the lights, blinking. Yeah, it's oh, 3 deep and we got a Christmas restock. I don't know if that's showing on screen. Like literally 3 deep. And it's a Christmas restock and people are just pouring things, shaking them, spinning them, all actions that have been noted. And these are all actions that have been noted to have a misokinesic response, which is similar to misophonia. And like even the visuals in these, some people would find it very satisfying. Some people might find it distressing. I am on the distressing side of the spectrum. So I've also noticed like there's a lot of people that film in front of their ceiling fan, and that is really distressing for me. So the visuals can be distressing as well. The research hasn't really figured out why. In 2013, Arjun Schroeder wrote a paper and he coined this term misokinesia, which is hatred of movement. And these terms really do need more research. But I am gonna watch a restock video and talk about it. It's 2 minutes long. It's going to be the longest 2 minutes of my life. I'm not gonna watch it with sound for you. Like I will turn off that sound. Okay, so we have this woman and she's like taking all these 7-Ups and bubblies out. And I mean, no hate to her. People like this content, but like all these snapping and snapping and like clink, clink, clink. Oh my God. I kind of want to throw up just watching this. And it's like that fight, flight, freeze feeling where you're getting tighter and more distressed. For people who might not know it's misophonia, you might just find yourself getting irritated and angry. You might try to rationalize it like, oh, this is overconsumption, this content's silly, blah, blah, blah. Like we can sometimes try and rationalize this by flight response. And I think it's important to wonder why, oh my God, the ripping apart of the. Okay. Yeah, disgust has also been shown in the research. I was initially going to watch several of these videos, and I am actually watching this on silent. And even on silent, like watching it, I can like hear the silent video. Oh, the tapping of the fingernails. Oh my God. So if you have ever watched these videos and felt extreme discomfort, sorry for my facial expressions. I'm just, oh my God. Okay. Yeah. Um, it is very interesting to me that people will watch these videos for enjoyment. And like, oh, the shaking of the package and the dragging. God. I think if there is a hell, is watching restocking videos on TikTok. That would be my personal hell loop. Because, oh my God. Wow. Sorry, sorry, sorry. And like I said, this is absolutely no hatred to this creator. This one is Caitlin Iola. Uh, I'm sure you are a wonderful, fantastic person. Your home looks beautiful and lovely. I just, cannot breathe watching that. Um, but yeah, I do not want this woman to think that I dislike her or I dislike her content. I only picked this video because it was literally the first one that popped up on my screen. And it has 2.2 million likes, 23,000 comments. 165,000 saves. So clearly a lot of people like this content and engage with it and are enjoying it. And it would be interesting to know how many people, didn't like it, and not necessarily in a way to be negative, but in a way to just see what impact there is on the opposite side of the spectrum. Because I highly doubt people with misophonia are going to, like the video. Um, I think it would be interesting to know. And I don't think we will ever get a clear picture unless it's, a controlled research study. But I think personally for me, I find the ASMR thing very interesting because it's such an opposite. And that opposite is like there's people expressing that they have pleasure and that they're loving these videos, that they're satisfying and they use them to calm down. And if I tried to watch this to calm down, it would be, well, let's just say it wouldn't be calming. I'm distressed even watching it without sound, and I'm like imagining the sounds. And rather than a tingle, I'm feeling like a tightness, a shiver. So there is a physiological response in both of these cases. They are just so different. And I think it's really interesting to see where this research will go. And I'm very interested in where the machine learning study is going to take me. Keep your eye on Misophonia Foundation for that and misophoniainternational.com. The results, will be preliminary posted even before it's written into a paper because I do want to make sure that, this information gets out there. So I do hope I can, present those results within the next probably, I'd say 3 to 6 months, hopefully sooner, but you never know when results will actually be ready. One thing about ASMR that is particularly interesting is that there's actually far more research on misophonia, despite it being less known than there is ASMR. And in a study by Rao and Arfanian, we have actually misophonia and ASMR looked at together. And what was interesting is that this study said that, and quote, we found that half of our misophonics recognize a description of ASMR in which particular stimuli, often man-made sounds such as whispering, evoke disproportionately pleasant, relaxing, or tingling sensations. This raises an interesting question on the proposed misophonic mechanisms, end quote. So basically what this study found was that misophonia can have both ASMR and misophonia, even for separate trigger sounds. That is fascinating because we don't know what causes either, if these conditions are related. And I do think that as research grows on all of these conditions, we are going to find quite interesting results. And I can't wait to see where this goes, not just from a scientific standpoint, but from a personal standpoint of understanding, why is my brain like this? Why is someone else's brain like this? Because these distressing situations are very hard to deal with. And the more we learn about it, the better. So I guess the point of this video today is if you find ASMR either enjoyable and relieving or distressing, you are not, weird. You are just a person experiencing a different physiological response. And if you do find these videos distressing, I invite you to look at misophoniafoundation.com or misophoniainternational.com. We have lots of articles and free resources, and we would love to hear from you and love to have you in our fold and in our community. So comment down below, do you find restocking videos comforting or distressing? I am definitely leaning on distressing.